It's always hard, like doing the like before the interview. I try to be quiet because, like, what if something really great happens off mic, you know? And it's like we try to recreate that. So
it feels really embarrassing.
But we're doing it. We're here. We're making it happen. It's Go 96.3, your modern alternative channel in the Twin Cities. I'm Miles the DJ. You're the Japanese House.
Hello.
Welcome to Minneapolis.
Thank you for having me.
I heard a rumor, I could be wrong, that you were supposed to be here yesterday, but you got in today and you had like kind of a rough flight out of Chicago. What happened?
It's true. I basically was taking photos for my next EP.
Your fourth?
My fourth EP. It didn't really go to plan because there was a girl, basically I had this weird idea and this girl was going to help me out. But she ended up having an argument with my friend that I know in Chicago. So I ended up just running around on my own, taking loads of weird photos.
Oh, wow. So like these are all like solo photos you took by yourself then?
Yeah, that's what I usually do with the artwork.
Oh, okay. Photos. Nice. Well, is everything okay with your friend now? Is everything all right? And not to get too personal,
so.
but
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be fine. It was pretty funny. I found it quite funny.
Chicago's nice too.
Yeah, I had the best day.
What'd you do?
I went to the beach. I spent about an hour in Whole Foods. What did I do?
That's a very impressive Whole Foods in Chicago too.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And I went shopping and took loads of photos, obviously. But yeah, and I took some photos in like some weird underpass for about half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke to loads of people there. Had some great Uber drivers. Had some great conversations. Told them that I was going to move there.
Is that you're in Canada now, right? Is that right, or where do you live now?
I live in London.
Oh, you're in London. Okay.
Yeah.
You're from Canada. Is that right?
No.
Why did I read that? Did I read that? Is my research wrong?
I think it is.
Okay.
Must be, unless there's. Yeah, I just found out they had a Wikipedia.
That's pretty exciting.
A dream of mine.
Now you have one.
I'd have one.
It's wrong, but you have one. Yeah. Well, the Japanese House. I love the name of the project, and what's cool about it is that it's very ambiguous, right? The first time I heard about the Japanese House, it could be, I didn't know if it was a band, I didn't know if it was a guy, a girl. Yeah. Was it sort of ambiguous on purpose?
Still ask me that if I'm a girl or a guy.
No, I know that you're not a guy or a band, but I'm saying going into it before I even heard anything, like getting the email of new music from the Japanese House. I'm saying I didn't know what it was. I thought that was kind of cool, and seeing that you're a solo artist, I thought was kind of nice.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of an accident because I didn't want to use my own name because I don't really like my own name. I don't think anyone really like loves their own name, but and so I just wanted to have sort of a pseudonym, and then I picked that name, which at first felt really weird because it's quite a weird name for a music project. But now, I mean, if you think about like the Arctic Monkeys, that's such a weird name.
Almost any name, right? Yeah. Like Run DMC is the weirdest thing you've ever heard the first time you heard it. Now it's iconic. So
yeah, and
maybe you'll be the next Run DMC.
Maybe that's what I'm aiming for.
Totally in play. What kind of music were you listening to growing up? It seems very eclectic. The music that you make.
It was like a mixture of my dad, like all my dad's music. So like Beach Boys, ELO. I basically only listened to the Beatles since I was about 11.
Okay.
I like refused to listen to anything else. I didn't know what a music video was until I was in like, I was like 10.
You didn't know what a music video was?
I thought you actually had to like go to a video shop and buy it.
Oh, sure.
And then put it in the VCR, and so I never really was into pop music until I started listening to Avril Lavigne, and she changed my world.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What was it? Skater Boy?
It was like that whole album.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to kind of more. What did I start listening to? I started listening to like Bon Iver and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And The National, I listened to quite a lot, and then I actually got into Fleetwood Mac like quite a lot later, even though we'll see.
I hear a lot of that in your music, actually. Bon Iver in particular. Maybe like a little Radiohead, like the In Rainbows album a little bit.
That's my favorite album ever.
Isn't that great? Isn't that a great record?
It's so good.
It's so funny. I was talking to a band last week, Low Moon, this really cool band from LA, about In Rainbows keeps popping up in interviews right now, but that was such a iconic and influential album that came out 10 years ago.
It's actually the first album I listened to of Radiohead.
Is that right?
Yeah. Obviously I'd heard like the hits, but I hadn't really like sat down and listened through. But when I heard In Rainbows, I was like, oh, I need to listen to every single song this band has done. But yeah, they're such a great band. They're so cool.
I hear a little maybe some beach house in your music too. Is that fair?
You're naming all my favorite bands and telling me that I sound like.
I got this. I've been spending a lot of time with your music over the weekend, so I've been thinking about it a lot.
I love Beach House so much.
Yeah.
She's has the coolest voice ever.
Victoria, yeah, she's great.
And I like it because I'm not offended if people think that I sound like a boy, because everyone thinks she sounds like a boy, and she has the best voice in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and their songs are so. What's that album? Teen
Dream.
That's their best album, in my opinion.
That was 2 albums ago, I think.
Yeah,
something like that on Sub Pop. Cherry Blossom.
Cherry Blossom. Yeah.
Is that the name of the record? Yeah, I don't remember.
It's
but
like a velvet cover on the vinyl cover.
And then they released one right after that too. They're cranking out some records right now. They're a really, really good band, and you as well. I mean, you're already making some artwork for your 4th EP, and I like how you're making EPs. You know what I mean? And I don't know if an album is going to happen one day or not, but it's also 2017, and it seems to me like I've never made music myself. I would love to. That'd be cool. But wrapping my head around the idea of putting together 10 to 13 songs at once in this day and age, it seems pretty daunting. But releasing, I don't know, 5 or 6 at a time, I think maybe that's where we're going again, right? Maybe.
I think if you look at albums now, they're getting so big, and I guess people want people listen to songs more often, I guess, maybe than listening to albums. They'll go on playlists and go on Spotify or Apple Music, whatever, and listen to individual songs.
Mm-hmm.
I rarely listen to a whole album, full album, but then when I do, I absolutely love doing it, and I won't listen to anything else. So I'm excited to make an album, but yeah, it's quite daunting.
Any records right now that are current, that are released that you're into, albums-wise?
Oh my God, I'm so bad at this. I forget every band. Okay, James Blake's new album's pretty good.
It's very good.
The last song on that album, I've never listened to it without crying. It's so sad. Meet You in the Maze.
Mm-hmm.
What else have I been listening to? I can't think of any albums. I have been listening to music.
Sure. I get the same thing, by the way. People ask me that question working in radio, and I'll even sometimes get a call or asking about a song I play, and they'll sing it. And I'm like, what is that again? I played it an hour ago. Oh, yeah, duh. It's 1975 or whatever. You know what I mean? It just kind of comes right up. So
their album's pretty good, too.
It's a good record.
Yeah.
It's a good record. You're signed to their label, right? Or the same label they're on, Dirty Hit?
Yeah, we're very good friends. I've known them for I don't know, so long.
Is that right?
So long.
How did that happen?
I just met them through a friend, and then just became friends with them. This was when they were playing their first big London show, which was at the time was Barfly, which is 200.
Mm-hmm, sure.
It was big for them at the time. That's how small they were. It was so cute. And now they're so big. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't think of any other albums. I actually can't think of any. Oh, Bon Iver's album, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
I can't decide if I think I'd prefer his second album though.
The self-titled one, where he won all the Grammy awards and whatnot.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer that. I don't know. I haven't listened to
They're all very different though, and that second record was a little more the first one was very acoustic based and kind of just pretty songs, and the second one was really experimental and out of control, and
it was
in a good way. And I hear some of that with what you're doing. I kind of keep repeating myself saying that, but it's just eclectic, forward-thinking music is something I really appreciate, and you're doing that. That's why I wanted to come in and talk to you, just to kind of pick your brain about your process and how you're putting these songs together. 3 EPs deep already. Face Like Thunder is a song we play quite a bit. How do these songs come together for you? What's your process going into making a record?
It takes me a long time to actually finish a song, because I just start songs. And then I have the attention span of a 3-year-old. So I would just move on to the next one. And then the EPs are quite weird, because some of the songs I'd written maybe a week before I picked the track list for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the songs I'd written 5 years ago or something. Face Like Thunder I wrote 3 years ago.
Is that right?
Yeah. And my manager kept kind of begging me to finish it, and I was just yeah, I'll do it. And then I finally did.
That was the one? Your manager thought that was the one, kind of?
Yeah, he was just please finish it, Amber. Please just finish one song. And I'm just Maybe.
Right.
I finally did. And then I guess like other songs, they're like the newest ones, so I liked them the best at the time, so I picked them
Sure.
to go on the EP. But I mainly produce stuff like on my laptop, and I go into the studio and kind of do like vocals and like on a proper microphone and stuff because I have such bad attention span. I usually just like on the demos just record a horrible vocal and then just like tune it really badly.
Okay.
I'm not bothered to sing it twice.
Experimenting.
Like an Apple headphone mic or something. And then I mix it with George from 1975. We mix it together.
Oh, cool.
I guess we produce it together. It's like a co-production kind of thing. And then I release it. Then I go and take some photos in Chicago.
Yeah.
And release another EP.
That's cool you have that connection with 1975 and Dirty Hit and being signed to that label. They're a band that our listeners are crazy about. Like you mentioned, they've gotten so big kind of out of nowhere. And I'm seeing that a lot with alternative bands these days, whether it was like Imagine Dragons started as a small indie band and then a year later they were doing arenas and I think of like the Black Keys and stuff. So it's a really good time for the genre. You mentioned that you have a friend who knew the band a little bit, but I think you've toured with the 1975 as well, or you're going to, or
I've toured with them a lot. Like I probably for about like majority of last year. That's what
What's it like playing for those fans? Because from my experience, even giving away tickets to their shows, I mean, their fans are so into them.
They're it's great playing to them because I feel like I've had a really kind of warped vision of what it's like warped experience of what it's like to support someone because their fans are so like obsessive and loyal and love them so much that whoever's supporting them, like they'll go away, like learn all the words, like I don't know, become like a fan. Like I felt it wasn't like I was I don't know. It felt like I was supporting a fan base that kind of knew a little bit about me, which was nice.
Oh, good. That's cool.
And yeah, like just very like receptive audience and just lovely, like fun people.
Sure.
But they're obviously like all very young, which I think is fun in a crowd because like dance and stuff.
Yeah, they're actually into the show and not just folding their arms the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad because I'm not going to lie. I sort of do that. I don't know about you, but when I see a show, I'm kind of in the back, just kind of observing and seeing how a crowd reacts and seeing how the band performs. Yeah.
Sometimes, it just depends on how much alcohol I've had, I think.
Yeah, that's
like, but I do like dancing at shows, but yeah, it depends.
Do you have an alcohol of choice?
Yes. Vodka Diet Coke.
Vodka Diet Coke? I
stopped drinking Diet Coke, so I've kind of moved on to the sodas.
Okay, yeah.
Soda, and then also Prosecco.
Prosecco's cool. Yeah.
That's I drink nothing else.
I've never tried the Vodka Diet Coke combination. That sounds a little weird to me, but maybe it's good. Yeah.
I swear it's like a classic drink.
Is it?
Maybe not.
Maybe it is, and I'm off. I have no idea.
I miss it.
Apparently, I have a friend in town who swears by red wine and Diet Coke.
Oh.
And that's the weirdest thing of all time.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's not tight at all. No.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's crazy. The things people are doing with alcohol these days.
Maybe I'll try it.
What's the worst hangover? Like the worst drink for a hangover? Is that for me? It's like wine. I have a bunch of red wine. I can't even function the next day.
White wine or like whiskey. I went through this stage of drinking whiskey like 2 winters ago.
Okay.
And genuinely like blacked out. Like I wasn't even that drunk, but the next day I just couldn't remember where I'd been, and like not in a dangerous way.
No, of course.
But I like couldn't remember like what we'd done that evening. But they're the worst hangovers for me because I really don't like not remembering stuff.
Yeah, it's not the best.
No.
The Japanese house. Have you been to Japan?
I haven't.
Okay.
I probably should go, shouldn't I?
I don't know. I hear it's great. I've never been either.
Yeah, I really want to go. It'd be really fun. Kind of terrifies me. I don't know why, because it looks so like busy and colourful. I feel like I'd like get overwhelmed.
Right.
But then I saw my friend show me some like amazing photos of when he went to Japan, and it looks like I don't know. It just looks like a film set.
It looks amazing though, doesn't it?
Yeah, the light is like it's got like this weird light, so the photos all look really amazing. It's like sort of like grey, white light. It looks like it looks like TV. Everyone thinks that like when you're walking around, it looks like you're watching a TV screen because it has that strange light.
Oh, okay. I can kind of see that from the photos and videos I've seen from Japan. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a bit of that vibe.
I hope I get to go there.
Have you been to the Twin Cities before?
I haven't.
It's your first time here.
Oh no, I don't know. I actually, this is really embarrassing, but I don't know if I've been here before.
It's okay.
Because I think
you toured a lot. You played a lot of shows. I
I think I might have come here when I was on tour in 1975, but I'm not sure. Because we played a lot of venues that are quite far out of the cities.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, but I'm going to explore the city today.
Well, it's good to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
As we record this, you're playing Triple Rock this evening. I think I'm going to play Face Like Fire again later in the program. What is something that my listeners should know about the song if they haven't heard it yet?
Let me think. It is. This is a hard question.
Like, what should I say about it? I'm going into it. It's Go 96.3, the Japanese House, incredible artist. She's playing a show tonight. This song is about blank.
It's really hard one to say exactly what it's about. It's actually, an interesting thing about it is I wrote the first verse and the second verse in two very different stages of my life. So it was kind of like the second verse is almost like a conclusion. Like a very sad conclusion. And the chorus, I guess, it's about feeling detached from someone, I guess.
Okay.
That you're in a relationship with. But it's quite upbeat in comparison.
Sure.
Obviously, lyrically, it's probably not the most upbeat, but in pace, I guess it's like one of my more like upbeat songs.
You mentioned did it take 3 years to make this song, or just the initial idea was 3 years ago and then you got around to it later? Or?
Yeah. And I think like I was on tour when I decided to kind of finish it. And I think that did it like subconsciously kind of influenced me on how we produced it, because I think it's good to give it's good to move people emotionally, but it's also good to like move people physically when you play live. Yeah. Because otherwise it can feel a bit intense. So yeah, I think I probably was influenced by like wanting to have like a more kind of fast song.
Sure. Something I've kind of noticed, a trend with some interviews I've done lately, is a lot of these songs that we play were conceived years ago, and in a climate where people's tastes and what's popular, what's not popular is changing so often. It's impressive when a song like that can be made that it doesn't really matter if it came out in 2012 or 2017. Do you think about that ever when you're making records, or is it just whatever comes out, and if people accept it, they accept it?
I think when I try and write songs, I think I never really enjoy them as much as in comparison to when a song just like comes out of you really easily. Like you just sit down and it's there. Those songs like the special ones, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it, because I get it quite a lot, because I always write like half an idea down and then I'll come back to it like a year later, and it's really hard to get into the mindset where you're not forcing like lyrics and stuff like that. But I never really think about anything when I'm writing songs that I really love. I guess that's the whole point. That's why it feels so weird when you write a song that's like literally comes out of nowhere. Yeah.
Well, you've been doing good so far. 3 EPs in the catalog. Another one coming soon. Any idea when?
I don't know exactly when. Yes, soon. I don't know.
2017?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
We got time.
Yeah.
The Japanese House, a London-based artist.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Go 96.3.